ครับ My name is Warit Tulyathorn นะครับ So I think, SoA+D was ahead of the time when I studied, and when I studied, it was kind of pushing us to actually think critically and creatively about what we are trying to do and asking the question why. The reason why I chose to study at SoA+D, it was that because of the kind of multilingual study work course where we study in English, and that helped us to kind of open up to see the world differently. We have the professors coming from different countries, and that helps us to understand the world of design from the global perspective rather than kind of looking in. So having that resources that you can understand and reach out to textbooks or even kind of design magazine from the global resources was really helpful. And now kind of looking back, it also helps me to think to my career path, going abroad and study in the US afterwards. The openness of the instructors, SoA+D was really good at that. It opens up the idea of putting the user or the student at the center of the subjects of the study, and then you kind of explore everything to the end of it. So I think it helps us to kind of prolong and have enough patience to finish the project from the beginning to the end. And I think that process kind of stuck with me. So I never thought I would study abroad, and what really inspired me to even think about it was the creative community from the international crew. I remember going back to talk to my professor about what should I do, and he really painted the picture of what would it be like, and we sat down together and kind of go through different options to kind of expose my opportunity outside of the country, which was really helpful. And I acknowledge that without that community, without that exposure to different creative community and also different opportunity for my education, that I wouldn't be here today without that exposure. So a lot of work that I did at IDEO, we tend to kind of go back to study people and how they behave, what they were thinking, and also like what drove them to think that way. So it's a very intrinsic needs that kind of change their behavior. That help us to kind of see the future of what would be the next of something. So a lot of IDEO projects tend to start with that. What would be the future of kitchen? What would be the future of cosmetic store? What would be the future of business traveler? What would be the future of children's hospitals? So just because of that, an idea of future of something kind of got us to think about like what is the current trends that drive that behavior. I would like you to think that study architecture doesn't mean that you have to do the traditional practice of architecture. Look at me as an example. I started off as an interior designer, an interior architect, but what I ended up doing because of the way of thinking, with the attitude of learning, with the curiosity that we build over time, I think having that idea of critical thinking and thinking creatively, you could do pretty much anything you wanted in the future. I think school should teach you how to think about how to define your own path and how to actually have your own future, the way that you can use your skill set and also have that kind of lifelong learning mindset to do whatever you think you should do in the world to have a better impact. So I think that is very important. Doesn't mean that you have to go to architecture school to design a space. Today I did very little of that. I'm thinking about how smart home could enhance people's life through, like now with Google. How do we actually use technology to make people's lives better? Like this house has a lot of connected devices that I have implemented just to the knowledge of trying to know what could be helpful when we have technology integrated within the building. So I think that is probably a takeaway I would give you.